So one of the fundamental goal of Vipassana meditation is to get rid of these defilement inside ourselves. And what Vipassana says, or what Goenka ji says, that the actual problem inside ourselves is this defilement, right? It's not about that we are lacking the meaning in our life. It's not about that some other external circumstances why we are not feeling good, or why we feel the need for finding meaning and satisfaction in our life is because of these defilement inside ourselves, right? What are these defilements? These defilements are like anger, jealousy, hatred, lust, these kind of things, ego, these kind of stuff are like the disease of the minds, right? For example, we in the body we have different disease, right? For example, I'm feeling fever. When I'm feeling fever, I'm not feeling comfortable, right? The same way there are disease in the mind, and these are the disease of the mind, right? These different defilements of the mind, right? And what Vipassana says is you need to get rid of them. You need to purify your mind from these defilements, right? And this is what the practice is all about, right? To purify your mind from these defilements. And when you purify your mind with this defilement, you will automatically feel more meaningful, satisfied, content, and all these things. You don't have to do anything for that. You have to remove the disease of the mind to feel your natural state, right? You don't have to do anything to feel good in your body. You just need to remove uh, the disease of the body, right? You of course you need to do some exercise, but the major part of body not feeling good is because there is something wrong in the body, some disease is there, right? So removing the defilement is one of the fundamental goal of Vipassana meditation. Okay, so let's see if we can understand this from the example. For example, let's say I'm sitting in the office and there's a person sitting in front of me, and for some reason when I see this person I feel hatred, right? I feel anger, right? This is a defilement in the mind. Why do I feel anger about this person? Because if we go through the process, what is happening is basically I'm seeing the person. Not everybody is feeling anger about that person, right? First thing to understand is that some people feel love about the person, some people feeling something else about the person, right? Same person, right? So definitely there's not something wrong with that person. What is happening is something is happening inside myself which is making me feel this anger, right? Something is happening into somebody else's inside somebody else's mind, and that is making them feel love about the same person, right? So this is inside ourselves. At least first get this thing straight. The reason of our defilement, the reason of our anger or anything else is inside ourselves, right? It is not in that person. That person is behaving in certain way which may not be harmonious, but still the cause of your anger is inside yourself. The same person somebody else can feel compassion about, but we are feeling anger about it, anger or hatred or something like that. So these things are the defilements, and this is where the Vipassana wants to work us. Vipassana wants us to work, right? So what is the process? Why do I feel? How do I feel this hatred about this person, right? So when I see this person, what is happening behind the scene in my mind, on the subconscious level, when I see this person, there is a judgment inside my mind, right? There's a judgment inside my mind that I don't like this person. For whatever reason, there's this judgment, right? And basically this judgment is happening based on my past experiences. I had the same experience. I had maybe some experience with this guy, or I might have some different experience with some different people, which make me feel, which makes my mind to create this judgment that I don't like this person, right? Even sometime, it's interesting that I haven't even talked to that person and I feel hatred about that person, or I feel attraction toward this person. I don't even know this person, right? So what is happening is basically my mind is taking all my past experiences and creating a judgment about a person I didn't even know, right? And it creates a judgment about this person, and I feel like, and it says that I don't like this person, right? And what is happening after that, when my mind has created this judgment, the second step is that I start feeling certain sensation in my body, right? By sensation I mean certain bodily emotions, right? For example, if I ask you to go and deliver a speech in front of a lot of people, completely unprepared, right? You are going to feel certain emotions, right? That emotion is more like your heart is going to feel butterfly or something like that, right? So you start feeling certain emotions in the body, certain bodily sensation, right? And once you start feeling certain bodily sensation, there is a very deep rooted tendency to either get attached to it or get averse to it, right? That is happening behind the scene. So what is happening when I'm seeing this person? A judgment happens. Based on that judgment, I'm going to feel certain emotions in my body, and based on that emotion, I'm going to feel either hatred towards this person or feel attracted towards this person, right? So that is the process going on behind the scene, and this is the founding of the Vipassana. This is the fundamental block on which the Vipassana is built, that this is not happening outside. This hatred, this defilement is not happening outside. It is happening inside, and it is happening on your sensation, right? You cannot control your judgment because this is completely unconscious. This whole process of seeing the person and then having a judgment and then feeling some kind of sensation in the body and then the reaction, this process is unconscious. You're not deciding this thing. This is something happening behind the scene. All you're doing is just feeling this impulse to stay away from this person, right? But the whole process is completely unconscious. This is what makes it even more challenging, right? That you cannot work through this using intellect. You cannot understand I shouldn't be doing this and that, and you will still be feeling impulsively stay away from that person because this process is completely unconscious, right? So now I am feeling, and what Vipassana is saying, you feel these three different aspects of the mind, that the judgment is happening, then there is this sense of emotions, and then to that emotions you are feeling attachment and aversion, right? What is Vipassana is saying, you need to work on this part of attachment and aversion towards these sensations, towards these emotional sensations. You cannot create, you cannot work on this judgment, and you cannot work on the emotions that are being generated based on that judgment, but you can work on your reaction to that emotion, your reaction to that bodily sensation, right? So this is where the Vipassana works. So the first layer of real problem, what we are saying, my problem is basically that I don't have a meaning in my life, I don't have a job which I'm passionate about, I don't have a person that I love. These kind of, our understanding is like, our problem is like these, which is superficial, which is external problems, which is external world, right? We want to work on that level, but in the Vipassana it is completely different. Vipassana is saying this is not a problem. The problem is your defilement. You're feeling you're mentally sick, right? You're basically mentally there are different diseases that are happening, and you are going through that. That is the real problem, not the external world, right? You want to remove that problem. And the next layer of that diagnosis is basically this process of attachment and aversion, right? This process of the Goenka ji says it's like, there's these thousand, not maybe thousand, but there's plenty of these different defilements, and then there are two basic the captain two basic captain of these all the defilements, and you want to eradicate those captains, and the captains are basically attachment and aversion, right? And that's attachment and aversion is happening on your own bodily sensation. So you can directly work with your own bodily sensation, right? So when you are working with your bodily sensation, it is much deeper actually. You're not even working on these defilement of anger, fear, hatred, lust, all these things. You're working even the root cause of that, which is attachment and aversion, right? Basically what is happening when I see this person which I hate, I'm feeling aversion towards certain sensation in my body, right? From there comes a hatred. From there comes my action towards that person, right? So you're working in much more root level when you're working with this sensation, right? So you're working, so what Vipassana says is basically that you need to work on the level of these sensation, right? And when you're working on the level of sensation, what you need to do is you need to stop this process, stop this unconscious process of attachment and aversion toward different sensation in the body, right? And if you can do that, then of course you have eradicated then you have cut down the root of the problem, right? Then your mind is no more sick, your mind is peaceful, your mind feels nice and all that, and your external, of course your external interactions are much more harmonious. So you work on that root level of this process of attachment and aversion toward different sensation inside the body, right? And that kind of a work is much more deeper than working on the beliefs or working on the thoughts or anything like that, right? So that's the first goal of the Vipassana meditation, is to get rid of these defilement. And how you get rid of these defilement? By observing the sensation in the body and stay equanimous instead of creating attachment and aversion toward different sensation, right? And if you can stay equanimous to different sensation, you don't feel hatred, lust, and jealousy about different person altogether, because you have work your way on the root level of these things. And when you don't feel all these things, you feel nice, you feel healthy, your mind feel peaceful, right? Content, satisfied by itself, no reason, no meaning, no person, no nothing, right? You just feel better about yourself because you're healthy, right? Your mind is healthy. And the same way, when your body is healthy, you feel good. You don't feel like, annoyed or anything like that. So your mind feel healthy that way. And from that point of view, if you interact in the world, you will see you are much more productive, constructive, harmonious, right? With the people, with the job that you are doing, and whatever you are doing, right? It is not about that at all. It's more like getting your mental state healthy, getting your mind healthy. And we do it by, purify our mind. And we do purify our mind by staying present with all kind of sensation that goes into the body on the unconscious level, right? And if we can do that, that's the primary goal of the Vipassana meditation, and that makes our life much better.